I'm 74 years old. I split wood every morning. I walk 3 miles before breakfast, and my doctor told me last year my arteries look like a man half my age. He asked what medications I take. I told him none. He didn't believe me. They never do. I grew up in Lancaster County. My father lived to 91. His father lived to 88. Neither of them ever swallowed a statin pill. Neither did their fathers before them. We don't know what a cardiologist's waiting room looks like from the inside. And it's not luck. It's not genetics alone. It's what we eat. It's what we don't eat. And it's three specific foods that the English world has mostly forgotten. I'm going to tell you what those foods are. I'm going to tell you why they work. And I'm going to tell you the truth about statins that your doctor probably won't say out loud. Plaque builds in your arteries. You know this. What most people don't know is how it starts. It doesn't start with fat. It starts with inflammation. Your artery wall gets irritated, damaged, and then your body sends cholesterol to patch the wound. That cholesterol hardens, calcifies, narrows the pipe. Eventually, the pipe closes. That's a heart attack. So the question isn't how do you lower cholesterol? The question is how do you stop the inflammation that starts the whole process? Statins lower cholesterol. That's true. But they don't stop inflammation. They suppress one number on a lab report and leave the root cause completely untouched. That's like turning off the smoke alarm while the house is still on fire. Now, I'm not telling you to stop your medication. That's between you and your doctor. But I am telling you what my community has known for generations. You can feed your arteries. You can reduce the inflammation. You can soften and break down the buildup that's already there. With food. Real food. 3 of them in particular. The first one is raw garlic. Not the powder, not the capsule. Not the stuff in the little jar soaking in oil. Raw garlic. Crushed. Eaten with food. My grandfather ate 2 cloves every single day. He called it his medicine. He didn't know the science. He didn't need to. He just knew it worked. Here's why it works. When you crush a garlic clove, 2 compounds combine. They were kept separate inside the clove until the moment you break it. When they combine, they form allicin. That word matters. Allicin is one of the most powerful natural anti-inflammatory compounds ever studied. It goes directly into your bloodstream. It reduces the oxidative stress on your artery walls. It makes your blood less sticky, less likely to clot. It actually loosens the grip of existing plaque. A study published in the Journal of Nutrition found that aged garlic extract reduced coronary artery plaque volume, not just slowed it, reduced it, reversed measurable buildup in human patients. That study cost nothing to implement. You can buy a head of garlic for less than $1, 2 cloves a day, crush them. Let them sit for 10 minutes after crushing. That waiting period matters. It lets the allicin fully form. Then eat them with your meal. Do that every day for 6 months and check your inflammation markers. I've seen it change people. Now some folks say it burns. It does. That burn is the medicine working. You get used to it. You can eat it with olive oil and bread. You can mix it into eggs. You can put it on anything, but do not cook it in high heat right away. High heat kills the allicin before it forms. Crush first, wait, then you can add gentle warmth if you must. The second food is something we make ourselves on the farm. Fermented beet kvass. Most of you have probably never heard of this. That's fine. Your great-great-grandmother knew it. It's one of the oldest fermented drinks in the world. We make it in crocks in the cellar. Beets, water, salt, and thyme. That's it. 4 ingredients. 4 to 7 days of fermentation. The result is a dark, tangy liquid that tastes like the earth and works like nothing else I've ever seen for heart health. Here's what's happening inside that crock. The fermentation process creates nitrates. Your body converts those nitrates to nitric oxide. Nitric oxide is what your artery walls need more than almost anything. It causes the arteries to dilate, to relax, to open up. When your arteries are wide and flexible, blood flows through them easily. Pressure drops. The mechanical stress on plaque decreases. Over time, that plaque becomes less stable and more likely to be cleared by your body's own processes. Beets also contain betaine. Betaine directly lowers homocysteine levels in the blood. High homocysteine is one of the most reliable predictors of cardiovascular disease. Most Americans have never had their homocysteine tested. Most have no idea it exists. It's more predictive than cholesterol in many studies. And beet kvass drives it down. On top of that, fermentation adds probiotics. A healthy gut microbiome reduces systemic inflammation. Everything connects. Everything feeds into the same result: cleaner arteries. Half a cup of beet kvass in the morning. That's all it takes. You can buy it at some health food stores now. It won't be as good as homemade, but it'll do the job. Or make it yourself. You'll find instructions everywhere. It takes 5 minutes of work and a few days of patience. I've given this to neighbors who were told by their doctors they needed stents. Both of them avoided surgery. I'm not saying that was only the kvass. They changed other things too. But the kvass was part of it. I believe that fully. The third food is raw apple cider vinegar. Every Amish household I've ever known kept a jug of it. It went in everything. It was used on wounds. It was given to sick animals. It was added to drinking water. We knew it did something powerful. Now science has caught up to what we already practiced. Raw apple cider vinegar, and I mean raw, unfiltered with the mother, contains acetic acid. That acetic acid does several things simultaneously. It improves insulin sensitivity. It lowers post-meal blood sugar spikes. It reduces triglycerides. All three of those factors contribute to arterial inflammation when they're dysregulated. There's more. Vinegar reduces the activity of an enzyme called HMGR. That enzyme is the same enzyme that statins target. Statins block it with a synthetic drug and a long list of side effects including muscle breakdown, liver stress, and memory issues. Vinegar inhibits the same enzyme gently, naturally, and without those consequences. It also contains polyphenols. Those polyphenols prevent LDL cholesterol from oxidizing. Oxidized LDL is what actually lodges in artery walls and forms plaque. Unoxidized LDL doesn't do that nearly as readily. This is a critical distinction that most people are never taught. Lowering cholesterol isn't the goal. Preventing cholesterol from oxidizing is the goal. Vinegar addresses that directly. 1 tablespoon in a glass of water in the morning. Another tablespoon in the evening if you want stronger results. Don't drink it straight. It'll damage the enamel on your teeth. Dilute it. Some people add a little raw honey. That's fine. The honey has its own benefits. Use it as a salad dressing. Pour it over steamed vegetables. Splash it on your eggs. You'll stop noticing the taste within a week. And within a month, you'll notice other things changing. Your digestion improves. Your energy in the morning is different. Your joints may feel less stiff. These aren't coincidences. Now let me tell you something that ties all three of these together. It's not just what these foods do in isolation. It's what they do when your whole way of eating supports them. In my community, we don't eat seed oils. No canola, no soybean oil, no vegetable oil from a plastic bottle that's been sitting on a shelf for 8 months. We cook with lard, with butter, with tallow rendered from animals we raised ourselves. The English world was told for 50 years that these fats were killers. Entire generations switched to seed oils and margarine and spray cans of chemical shortening. Heart disease didn't go down, it went up. It has gone up every decade since that switch was made. Seed oils are polyunsaturated fats that oxidize at cooking temperatures. When they oxidize, they create free radicals. Those free radicals damage artery walls. That damage triggers inflammation. That inflammation starts the plaque building process. Everything I described at the beginning. Seed oils are a direct driver of the problem that statins are supposed to fix. We also don't eat food from packages. We don't eat breakfast cereal. We don't eat bread made in factories from bleached flour. We eat bread. We bake from whole grain flour. We grind ourselves. We eat vegetables we grow. We eat meat we raise. We eat eggs from chickens that walk in our yard. The chickens eat bugs and grass and scratch in the dirt. Those eggs have a dark orange yolk. That color is nutrition. Pale yellow grocery store eggs are from chickens that never saw sunlight and ate nothing but corn. Those are not the same food. None of this is about being extreme. It's about understanding that food is information. Every bite you take sends a message to your body. Either that message promotes inflammation or it reduces it. Either it oxidizes your blood or it protects it. Either it feeds plaque or it dismantles it. Raw garlic, beet kvass, apple cider vinegar. These three send a specific and powerful message. Calm down. Stop attacking the walls. Clear the buildup. Keep the blood moving. I want to speak plainly about statins for one more moment, because I know some of you watching this are on them and feeling uncertain. Statins are the most prescribed drug in the world. Tens of millions of people take them daily. The pharmaceutical industry earns hundreds of billions of dollars from them every year. That's not a conspiracy. That's just a fact about financial incentive. Here's another fact. The absolute risk reduction from statins for people without existing heart disease is around 1 to 2% in most major trials. That means out of 100 people who take statins for 5 years as a preventive measure, roughly 1 to 2 of them benefit. The other 98 get the side effects with no meaningful protection. Those numbers are in the studies. They're not hidden. They're just not the numbers that get discussed in a 10-minute doctor's appointment. Now, for people who've already had a heart attack, the numbers are better. Statins do provide more meaningful protection in secondary prevention. But that's a very different situation than the millions of people taking them, because one lab number came back slightly elevated. I'm not a doctor, I want to be clear about that. But I can read, and I can observe. And what I observe in my community is a group of people who do physical labor, eat real food, consume these three foods regularly, and largely avoid the chronic disease epidemic that has consumed the English world. We're not untouched. We have our struggles. But heart disease and arterial disease at the rates seen in mainstream American life? We don't see that, and it has been studied. Researchers have come to our communities specifically because of our low rates of cardiovascular events. They've published papers on it. They've walked away attributing it partly to physical activity, partly to low-stress community structure, and partly, largely, to diet. The diet piece is what I'm sharing with you today. Here's how I would approach this if I were you. Start with the garlic. It's the cheapest and the easiest. Buy a head of garlic. Crush 2 cloves tonight before dinner. Let them sit 10 minutes. Eat them with your food. Do that every single day. After 2 weeks, add the apple cider vinegar, 1 tablespoon in water every morning before you eat. After a month of both of those, find some beet kvass and add that third. Do all 3 consistently for 90 days. Get your inflammation markers checked. Ask your doctor specifically to test your C-reactive protein and your homocysteine. Those are the real numbers. If your doctor doesn't know why you'd want those tested, find a different doctor. Give your body real food and give it time. That's the formula. That's been the formula for generations before cholesterol was a word anyone knew. My grandfather never heard of a statin. My father never heard of a statin. I've heard of them. I've watched neighbors go on them. I've watched them develop muscle pain, fatigue, trouble thinking clearly, and I've watched them stay on the drugs because they were afraid to stop. You don't have to be afraid of food. You should be far more afraid of being disconnected from it. There is a version of you that eats these 3 foods every single day, that walks, that sleeps, that eats from the land or as close to it as you can get in your life. That version of you has arteries that stay clean and flexible well into old age. That version is not unreachable. It's just a decision. Made daily, at the table. That's where health has always lived, not in a pharmacy. At the table.